Everyone is obsessed with this product, and I don't get it. Well, I am in a mood today. I don't know if it's the caffeination or what is going on within my synapses, but they are happy. And today we are reacting to Camila Cabello's guide to overcoming acne. Hi, she says she literally has like 3 new pimples on her face. As a medical esthetician who has struggled with acne my entire life, I'm very excited, slightly nervous, but both kind of have the same physiological response that I am having to the premise of watching this video. I am so excited to see what she does for her acne, and let's press play.
Hey guys, I'm Camila Cabello. I'm here with Vogue doing my everyday skincare routine and my out the door, quick as I can makeup routine. This is the Osmosis MD Purify Cleanser.
We love when she pulls her hair back. This is just a pet peeve of mine, and I am realizing it. But the idea that someone doesn't pull their hair back and you get product all in your hair and you can't accurately get your hairline, the anxiety is real. And unprecedented, but real. Now, she looks like she is using some sort of MD Osmosis cleanser. This seems to be an enzyme cleanser, and let's speak about medical grade skincare, because what exactly does that mean? Medical grade skincare really has no standardized definition. In the opposite way, it's kind of like natural. There is no standard terms defining it. Now, this means that you can pretty much call anything natural. I mean, heck, lead and arsenic are natural. They're literally elements. But similarly, you can call anything medical grade. Now, usually medical grade means that a doctor or dermatologist is behind the line, or hopefully there are medical studies or peer-reviewed papers that back up ingredients or things inside of that product, or hopefully that product as a whole, but not always. And when it comes to this Osmosis Beauty, for $44 for an enzyme cleanser, I don't know what this is. I feel like I have heard of this brand before, but I don't remember ever using it. And the fact that they call it an MD Purify, it's just kind of questionable. Like, what are we purifying here? I want to know. Now, what is also so suspicious in here is that they're speaking about this healthy, radiant complexion, and then they say grapefruit oil. And they say that grapefruit oil helps to dry out excess oil that can clog pores and cause blemishes. That is one of the least MD purifying scientific things I think I've ever heard. I don't know of any studies that prove that grapefruit can be helpful for drying out oil in skin, specifically grapefruit oil. There is a, kind of like a floating hypothesis or internet myth that if you use more oil, your skin will produce less of it. I've even been guilty of repeating that in the past because I didn't check my sources. And your oil production in your skin is primarily defined by your genetics. It's also influenced by your diet, because your diet can impact your hormones, same with your stress and how your stress can impact your hormones. And if you want to learn more about that, the psychodermatologist, Dr. Ahmed, she's phenomenal. And I would highly recommend, listening to some of the things that she speaks about on the intersection of health and wellness and skin. Now, what's great in here is that it does say that it has enzymes derived from pineapple and papaya. We do love those. But overall, the ingredients, first ingredients are kumquat, fruit extract, and kiwi fruit extract, and neem, all fantastic antioxidants. But tell me how this helps with acne. And then the orange oil and grapefruit oil in here, if anything, these would be a little bit more concerning for those who have irritations. And especially if you do have acne, you don't always get along with those things. Now, it doesn't look like they are claiming this is an acne cleanser. It says that it's a Purify enzyme cleanser, but you know what? Camila looks absolutely gorgeous. This must be working for her. Just for my skin that maybe is prone to citrus irritation, there are very few citrus products I can use, and I am steering clear of this one.
The Osea C Vitamin Boost. I use their products a lot.
I will say, Osea has a place in my heart. They are made on the California coastline. They really believe in what they do, from sourcing ingredients properly to supporting local environments. They are one of the brands that, yes, does the natural branding, but I literally love their products. I did work with them in the past on their seaweed stuff, but this seems to be an antioxidant boost. I've actually not tried this. It's called the C Vitamin Boost. Now, what's in this? And oh no, does it have orange? Well, look, it does have organic algae, which we love. It does have resveratrol. It does have pomegranate pomegranate. These are all fantastic. And yes, they are claiming that it helps with hydration, adding a radiant glow to skin. I could actually see this doing that. Let's look at the rest of the ingredients. The first ingredient is pomegranate extract. This almost reminds me of that Frudia pomegranate product that I love so much. This does have resveratrol. You might recognize that from wine, or actually from grapes. There was something that came out, it was like some article that was like, if you drink wine, you'll be healthier. Alcohol at no level is technically healthy. Sorry to break it to you. Don't blame me. Don't shoot the messenger. It's the message. Ask Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre has a great video on how alcohol impacts skin and beauty. But even though wine is considered healthier because it has resveratrol, that's actually an antioxidant found in grapes, and it's the grapes that actually have that. The fact that they put it in here is fantastic. If you live in an area with a lot of environmental pollution, if you go out in the sun a lot, if you have a lot of skin stressors, this can be really helpful. They also have some madder root extract, some glycerin, and it does look like they have a couple of extra extracts as well as vitamin C, which I love to see. It also looks like they have magnesium ascorbyl phosphate, which I love to see. This is a great stable form of vitamin C, and inside of this formula, it looks fantastic. There also doesn't seem to be any fragrance in here, which, you know, for one of these brands that is ethical and eco-friendly and calls themselves natural, it's really hard to find these types of brands without tons of fragrance. So this is a welcome surprise. Now, is it expensive for 30 bucks? I mean, it's not cheap, but that actually does not look bad. And seeing as I have had such a great experience with their seaweed products, and their body products are phenomenal, you know what, Camila, she might be getting me to add this to my cart. Oh, look, and it says use this with the Osea cleanser, the hyaluronic sea serum, and the advanced protection cream. Those are literally 3 of my favorite products from the brand. Wow, freaking Google AdWords is stalking me.
I'm lurking and I'm stalking when you least expect it.
Now I'm gonna use Osea, my gel serum, which feels really, really, really good.
We were doing so good. And speaking of Osea, I understand that this is an eye gel cream. Do you know what I'm gonna say? Yes, you're f***ing right. Cassandra Bankson is going to bitch about how eye creams can be used all over the face, and literally how their hyaluronic sea serum and their anti-aging sea serum can literally be used under the eyes. This right here is the anti-aging sea serum. I've been testing it out. You can use this under the eyes, and you know what? It's fantastic. And yes, it is fragrance free for those who are a bit more sensitive. Now, this eye gel serum seems to be sold out. It looks like they also have a firming eye cream. Literally, the main ingredients in here are the seaweed. You could literally get any of these seaweed products and put them around your eye. And if you are just dead set on getting, you know, an eye cream that has algae or seaweed in it, freaking Biossance. Biossance does have one of the best eye creams out there. Is it expensive? Yes. Do I wish they made it in a full tub that you can smear all over your face? Yes. But you know what? I fully blame and hold accountable Dr. Munib Shah of Doctorly for getting me hooked on the Biossance eye cream that I, yes, use all over my face, including on this pimple like 3 days ago. It's a great formula. It's extremely nourishing to skin. It's wonderful, but you can use it all over. So I'm glad it works for Camila, but it doesn't even look like she has like dark under eye bags on her face. Like, girl, what problems? I mean, is she trying to prevent problems? Like, give me a little something to work with here, because this is a canvas. Somebody made a comment, what was it, the eyelash video? They were like, makeup on Cassandra is like spilling coffee on a Picasso. I was like, you, I see you. That's how I feel when beautiful, attractive, talented women put on these creams that they don't need. Use a sunscreen and get 8 hours of sleep, and you will prevent all of the problems that these stupid creams are trying to promise to treat. Save some money. Help out your adenosine receptors. Get some Z's, babies.
I'm gonna use the L'Oreal Paris Hyaluronic Acid. To me, moisturizer and serum have 2 totally different textures, and I love the texture of serum.
The L'Oreal is not a favorite. It's 32 bucks. Like, why are you paying 32 bucks for L'Oreal? I understand this claims to be a great product. Lots of derms and doctors love it. I have an entire video of the 15 hyaluronic serums that are horrible and much better than this one, which I would highly, highly recommend. When it comes to serums versus moisturizers, she's correct. From a chemistry standpoint, they are very different. Serums usually tend to be more concentrated and a little bit thinner, so they penetrate into the skin deeper. And you usually find formulas that claim to act on something, so like an acne treatment serum, or you could look for a serum that helps with dark spots or fine lines. Whereas moisturizers, the basis of that is to moisturize, to lock in that hydration, to sometimes impart hydration onto the skin as well. Now, there are some moisturizers that of course have anti-acne ingredients or anti-wrinkle ingredients or graceful aging ingredients, but a serum plus a moisturizer is fantastic, although you don't actually need both. If you you really like the textures of serums, you don't need a moisturizer unless your skin is super dry or like falling off, right? And don't be afraid of moisturizers if you're oily. Whereas if you have a moisturizer that is great and has ingredients that you need, you don't exactly need a serum. Now, do I use both? Yes. Do I love layering them? Absolutely. Do I sit here and try to help teach others how to do the same? Of course I do. Absolutely wonderful. You can use both, but I want you to know that you don't need to. And if you were looking for a serum, I wouldn't recommend this one. For like half the price, I would recommend the Isntree. It has 8 different types of hyaluronic acid. I find it to be much nicer on the skin, and it absorbs like a dream.
And I love the texture of serums. When I was younger, I was in a girl group at the time, and we started doing this like mall tour, and I had a bout of just like really bad acne, and I remember always like being like, oh my god, like being so anxious when people would be close to me and taking pictures that I didn't want people to see. I was like obsessed with One Direction and hanging out with them backstage at this awards show, and I remember them being like, hey, how's it going? And me being like, it was not fun. I did like a couple laser treatments actually that really helped. But I think ever since then, I really prioritize skincare.
I love how open she is about her acne experience and how vulnerable and terrifying it can be to have acne. So first off, I don't know what a mall tour is, but it sounds like, you know, she was walking around with her skin exposed. And being someone who grew up with horrible acne and being bullied for it, and then, you know, repeating those things inside of your head and basically bullying yourself, it's traumatizing. Like, it's actually traumatizing. It is a form of self-ridicule and trauma. And when you feel that you can't even walk outside without makeup on, when you don't want to get close to people, it's impacting your friendships, your ability to interview for a job or to be your best self, it's absolutely terrifying. And I think that's why skincare and aesthetic care and dermatological care and psychological care is so essential. Because if your skin condition is preventing you from sharing your unique gifts and talents with the world, that fucking sucks. Like, I know what that feels like. And I truly believe that each one of us has something very special about who we are, our talents, our gifts, and what we do. But if we are spending 3 hours in front of a mirror every day, picking apart our imperfections psychologically and literally, and, you know, telling ourselves about how terrible we are, we can't go out into the world and be confident and help people in our circles or do the things that make life worth living, because we're constantly sitting here kind of checking over our shoulder just to make sure that we're okay in the way that we're showing up. And I think it is intrinsic to humans to want to be loved and accepted and cared for. And hi, that's fucking 8-year-old me speaking in the 3rd grade with a pimple on her nose in Mrs. A's class, just wanting to hang out with friends on the playground, but, you know, having people point at me and saying, is that a wart? That sticks with you, you know? And for her, being in the public eye as all of that's happening, meeting, it sounds like One Direction is like a band that she really loves, having that stress and anxiety that's preventing her from fully engaging with and appreciating that moment, oh man, that sucks. But how cool is it that she's able to speak about it now, and that it sounds like she went to do things about it. She said she did laser. I don't know if she's talking about Clear and Brilliant, maybe even some sort of CO2. There are lots of lasers for acne. Lasers are super helpful for acne as well as acne scarring, but they are very expensive. And if you can't afford a laser, good, inexpensive, but with great ingredient over-the-counter skincare is really a first-line basis step. But also looking at the triggers of that acne. Is there a hormonal imbalance? You can get that checked with a doctor. Is there a sleep disturbance or a sleep imbalance? Are you having a specific reaction to a certain food? Or are your lifestyle choices impacting your hormones? All of these things play into it, which is why it can be so stressful. And I think that the industry also puts the burden of acne or of a skin condition on the person who's suffering with it, the person who's struggling with it. I washed my face like 8 times a day at one point because I didn't know better, because I thought I was dirty. And how refreshing is it to find out that, oh, it's not that I was dirty, this is just my biology, and because of my genetics and my microbiome and the things that I was eating and the ways that I was sleeping and terrorizing myself in my mind was causing stress. And you know what? It was just showing up on my face. But it's not fair to put all of the blame on us. But you know, the beauty industry tries to do that because they make money off of our insecurities. And that is one of the ugliest truths of the beauty industry. It wouldn't exist if there weren't insecurities, which is why companies prey on those things. And that's why you and I are here basically tearing up the beauty industry from the the inside out, talking about the products that actually have the ingredients that we need, and talking about products that are inexpensive but effective to help us put our best faces forward, but to enjoy the f***ing process, because nobody knows if the moisturizer you're using is $7, $70, or $700. And you deserve to use something that makes you feel good about yourself and to actually understand what's going on there, so you're not just swindled by marketing. But I'm gonna get off my soapbox. Yes, thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
But I think ever since then, I really prioritize skincare. Osea Atmosphere Protection Cream.
Ooh, she puts that on so nice. This is an atmosphere protection cream. I don't know what this is, but do you notice how she used her liquidy serums first, then her slightly thicker protection cream, and it looks like she might be going in with a moisturizer afterwards? Excuse me. She has perfectly done our cleanse consistency complete, and we are now at this consistency step where she's taking the lightest products, putting those on first, or the thinnest products, and then following them up with thicker ones. This allows those first ingredients to penetrate deep, while the later ones actually seal and lock that in. Now, this one is $48, Atmosphere Protection Cream. That sounds a little gimmicky to me, but I'm assuming that this has seaweed as well as antioxidants in here. So let's see. Ooh, okay. Well, this is not going to be getting my money, but I am impressed. And the reason why is because the first ingredient is water, the universal solvent. The second is algae extract. And normally, you know, algae, seaweed, very expensive to formulate with. We don't always see them so high up on the ingredients list. So this is nice. We do have vegetable glycerides, macadamia, olive oil, jojoba, avocado. All of these are good, but I just don't think this is worth $48. Like if you're looking for inexpensive seaweed, there's this one for frickin', it's a body cream, but it works for the face if you really want it to. It's like $7 at Whole Foods. They have this one, even better. This is the Advanced Protection Cream if you want something bougie. But even Mario Badescu has like a $15 seaweed cream that works really, really well if you're looking for some seaweed at an inexpensive price. So while this is great, it does have lavender, geranium, grapefruit oil. It's not terrible for the skin. It's just not going to be getting my money because my skin has not been having such a good time with the grapefruit ingredients. And for what it is, you know, macadamia, jojoba, it's good, but like you can get algae and, you know, good hydrators and oil in other products. So this one's a no for me, but I'm glad it works for her.
This is Osea Advanced Protection Cream. This has helped me so much with my blackheads. And now I actually rarely exfoliate, just keeping my skin moisturized.
Wow, okay, so I happen to have this. I consider this to be a better, more sustainable, more honest and transparent version of La Mer, but this one is good. As she's mentioning that this helps with her blackheads, as far as I can recall, this doesn't really have anything that would help with blackheads. Maybe her blackheads were being created by P. acnes bacteria, which is what creates blackheads. In the skin, that oil can build up, and if it's an open comedone, that oxidation, basically what happens to an apple or an avocado after you cut it, same thing is happening to the acne bacteria and all of the gunk that is inside of our pores. And that's what an open comedone or a blackhead is versus a whitehead or a closed comedone. Did you know that they're made of the same basic stuff? You know, dead skin cells, oil, and acne bacteria. But there's nothing in here that would directly help with that. So if anything, it almost sounds like just regulating her skincare has been helpful for her. She's also mentioning a lack of exfoliation. This does not exfoliate. Most of these products, other than the cleanser, don't really exfoliate. If she's using that cleanser every day, I can see that, you know, helping with skin cell turnover, but maybe she used to be really dry and peely, and people who are dry and peely tend to feel the need to exfoliate more, but hydration and an enzyme cleanser would help. So I'm so glad this is working for her. This does have a couple of citrus oils in there, like lemon, so just be aware of that. This is a little bit more expensive. I think it's like $68. It's sold out on this website, but this is a fantastic option, especially if you're looking for a La Mer dupe, if you're trying to get off the La Mer train because you don't agree with the bullshit they've been pulling, you know, with their Ouija boards and their mad scientists from the dead. If you didn't know that that's the reason that they charge $500 for a freaking cream tub tube of product, well, that's the reason that they charge $500 for a cream tub tube of product, because they play music to it and they spoke to a dead scientist with a Ouija board or a psychic or some shit. Anyways, watch the video here and we're gonna keep watching her.
Actually, really helps a lot. Growing up in Miami, because it's so hot and so humid, you just like can't really wear a lot of makeup there. So I like to go with very, very light coverage. There's also funny like tricks that my mom has taught me. She would put egg white on my face as a face mask. You leave it on for like 10 minutes and then you wash it off. Anytime that I do it, it does make a really big difference. So that's a little Cuban mom beauty trick.
I am so glad that works for her. I am happy to hear it. It is tightening. It's not something I personally recommend. It's not like it's penetrating the skin. There might be some proteins or amino acids, but a face mask that is actually targeted to skincare will probably do much better. But I mean, hey, if you want to shove eggs on your face, poor chickens. That's all.
Laneige lip sleeping mask. While I'm doing my makeup, I'll put this on.
Everyone is obsessed with this product and I don't get it. There are a lot of people who are like cult obsessed with the Laneige sleeping mask, and there are some people who have said that it makes their lips peel and are irritated and terrible. We actually spoke about this in a TikTok and I shared 3 alternatives that don't leave your lips in that constant cycle of peeling. You can actually have a form of cheilitis. You can actually get like an irritation based on fragrances and flavors and even colorants inside of lip balms. It can be really bad. But this sleeping mask seems to be in the gummy bear scent, which I'm not gonna lie, does kind of sound delicious. I was that ate the sugar scrubs, you know, the lip scrubs with the sugar. Yeah, I ate that because I was like a 14-year-old dumbass and I was like, oh, yummy. But when it comes to this, it doesn't look like it's going to break the bank. It does have vitamin C in it, but it is not getting my money or my coin. There are some other products out there that are much better. This also has a lot of colorants in it. This does have a couple of different fruit extracts, which again, can be good as long as you're not prone to irritation, but the lips are much thinner and they are way more prone to irritation. And the main ingredients aren't really super phenomenal for lips. Like, if you want to go cheap, go with some Vaseline. Get yourself some Salimo jelly from Amazon. Preferably get yourself something with sunscreen. So this lip mask is a no for me, but the idea of putting on like a lip balm before you put on your makeup, if you wear heavy foundation, hi, acne-ridden me, I would put this foundation on and my lips, it would look like I was a corpse because my lips would be non-existent. So actually putting on a lip balm, you can literally apply your foundation as messy as you want, beauty blender that powder it up, whatever, and then you can literally just wipe the lip balm off and apply an SPF lip balm or your lipstick or a gloss or whatever. Really good beauty hack. I just wouldn't use this product to do it.
Sunscreen is really, really important. My mom has always told me that it was really important and I hate when I get sunburned. This is a foundation that I use and this has SPF 30.
It has SPF 30, but is it giving her an SPF 30? Here's the whole thing about sunscreens is that you need to use enough in order for it to be effective. And yes, ideally you need to reapply, but hey baby, if you're using sunscreen, you're already 90% of the way there. When it comes to this, it does look like it's an SPF 30. It's a hand skincare sunscreen CC cream, sunscreen. Oh, I hope the sun is not screaming at you. It actually probably is. For $32, it's not bad, but a lot of these products, if you're not applying enough of that product, you're not actually getting that full SPF amount. You need to apply a lot, which often makes makeup look cakey. So people use just a little bit and the amount of sunscreen they're actually getting in there is so little that it often doesn't turn out well. Now, am I telling you not to use SPF tinted CC creams? No, absolutely not. I'm just saying that for true skintellectuals, we want to be a little bit more careful. We want to be a little bit more aware so that we can get the maximum benefit out of those products. And hey, if it's this or nothing, use this 10 out of 10 times, right? But if you have the option, go for something a little bit better. There is Sun Better. It's much more expensive, but this stuff is fantastic. A+ if you're looking for makeup. There's also Color Science. They have the little, brush on things, as well as an actual redness correcting foundation SPF 50. Absolutely magical. And even Dr. Sandra Lee MD has another one of those powdered sunscreen options. I would not recommend this as your base sunscreen application. I would say use a sunscreen like Black Girl Sunscreen or a K-Beauty sunscreen, something you love, and then put makeup over it. But it is better than nothing. And if you are someone who is brand new to the sunscreen or you hate the idea of sunscreen and just don't want to use it, this is better than nothing. But is it 10 out of 10? No, I would reapply again. But we do have to give claps and kudos because it is wonderful to see a celebrity actually speaking about how essential sunscreen is.
Pressure's on. Now I remember I'm getting flashbacks of all the times I've watched these Vogue routine videos.
She's so legit, like she is so real. And do you see how she's using her beauty blender? I actually don't recommend swiping, I recommend patting, but you see exactly what I'm saying. She's putting on such a small amount. You're not getting that 2 full finger stripes of that sunscreen if you are thinning it out that much. So it's better than nothing, but I would like a base application of a regular sunscreen and then you can put an SPF CC cream or you could just put a regular foundation on top. And aren't you impressed that I even know who Camila Cabello is? Like, first off, who doesn't? I'm actually like really good with music and singers, just like other celebrities and like movies, I live under a rock. So welcome to the Bankson residence. I live here, as well as a whole bunch of cats. Invite some chickens, some dogs, some horses. Fucking get a parakeet in here, why not? And the like button and subscribe button live here too, so might I introduce you to them. Shake the like button's hand.
I'm gonna shake your hand. I wanna shake his hand. I wanna shake his hand.
It actually turned into like a party thing if you're on desktop. Did you see if you click it, it gives you a party? Yay, let's throw a party at my rock residence. And make sure to subscribe if you want to see more happily caffeinated reaction videos. Speaking of, there's another reaction video that you should probably watch right here. And if you want to learn more about La Mer, you know where to find that as well. Stay hydrated, remember to reapply your SPF and preferably use enough of it to begin with, and always be beautiful both inside and out. I love you and I cannot wait to see you in this next video. Love you guys. Bye.